My name's Allison Arians, and I'm the South Anchorage Farmers Market reporter. And we're here at the market today to talk to farmer Mark Rempel about his sauerkraut recipe. He's never made it before, but he swears by the recipe, and now's the time to buy cabbage to store it up for the winter. So let's go talk to Mark about how to make sauerkraut.
We've been making sauerkraut at our house for years, and what we do is we cook it on the counter. We let it ferment on the counter just in a 5-gallon bucket. And I like, right after my wife puts it together, I like sampling. It's really, that salty cabbage, juicy salty cabbage is just delicious. And then when it's done after about 5 weeks, or when it gets close to 5 weeks, that's when you're tasting it on a regular basis, because you want to get it right, the way you want it. That's what's nice. You don't have to buy it the way the store gives it. You can stop it where you want the fermentation. And we just throw it in Ziploc bags. It's really simple to put up. And then we just, when you want to eat it, pull the Ziploc bag out of the freezer, run it in our hot water, slip it out into the skillet, throw in your frozen sausage, and just let it warm up. We use Alaska sausage, and that's dinner real often in our house.
Then you got local cabbage,
yep, and local sausage.
Instead of totally local meal in the middle of the winter.
And this is a good time of year to buy cabbage because there's a lot of it, and it's right. And sometimes you can talk a farmer into a deal on split cabbage.
Right, which is perfect for sauerkraut because you're going to chop.
And he can't sell it anyway. So.
Cool. Well, thanks. I'm excited to try it, Mark.
Have fun.
Thank you. Okay, we're back from the market. Got our cabbages. I've already shredded up most of the cabbage here. You can see in this big bowl, but I'll show you how I do this last one. But before I do, I'm going to talk to you about what I'm going to ferment the sauerkraut in. I'm going to use a big crock here that I got from my dad. Isn't it cool? It's huge. But if you don't have this crock, it's totally fine to use a 5-gallon bucket. You just need to make sure to wash the bucket out really well if it's a food-grade plastic bucket. If it's not a food-grade plastic bucket, you probably want to line it with a plastic bag. So, here we have our beautiful cabbage from the South Anchorage Farmers Market. First I'm going to peel the outer layers off, outer leaves, just to get rid of that. Sometimes they'll be a little bit dry or a little bit wrinkled. These actually look really moist and delicious. And then chop it in half, right down the stem, and then I quarter it right down the middle of the stem, just like this. And I take the core out, just like this. One core, 2 cores. Then the fun thing you can do with the cores is give them to your 3-year-old. I've got my cabbage all shredded with the slicing blade of my food processor. Now what we're going to do is layer the shredded cabbage into my crock with salt. That's all that's in sauerkraut is salt and cabbage. And the ratio is 1.5 teaspoons of salt to a pound of cabbage.
Can I see what's inside of the crock now?
You want to see inside? Okay, so I've got the cabbage and salt all layered into my crock here. You can see the cabbage used to be up to the very top of the crock, but the salt is already starting to draw the liquid out of the cabbage in there. It's really settling down nicely. So what we need now on the top of the cabbage and salt, because what's going to happen is the salt's going to draw the liquid out of the cabbage, and there's going to be this crock full of briny liquid, brine basically from the juice cabbage, and we need that to be the to cover up all this cabbage. But so in order to keep the cabbage down into the brine, we've got to cover it with something heavy. Well, Farmer Mark Rempel's method of doing that is to use a big bag of water, which is perfect because not only does it keep the cabbage in the brine, but it also lets the carbon dioxide that the fermentation organisms are producing out the edges. It's a perfect airlock system for us. So I've got a big bag of water. This is in a trash compactor bag, and I've got it double bagged just in case it might leak. I don't want it leaking into my sauerkraut. I'm going to put that right in the top of our crock. And fasten it down. I've got it double twisty tied, so it's not going to come loose. And I'll just set it in. So now what we're going to do is wait a week, and we're going to stir it up. It'll be by then the cabbage in the brine. Wait a week, stir it up, and then every week for 5 weeks, we're going to stir it again, and we're going to start tasting it after about 3 weeks and see what we like. And then when it gets to the sourness we like, we're going to take it out of the crock, put it in Ziploc freezer bags, and put it in the freezer. So you'll have fresh, delicious sauerkraut all winter long, made with local Alaskan cabbage.